Please give yourselves and the 5 women and Micheline a huge round of applause for having the... It's so... Isn't it absolutely fucking incredible that in the year 2017 that we're still having to deal, when I say we, I mean my inner woman and your inner woman, are still having to deal with shit like this, that in a city that we are a part of, in a city that we there are certain things we take for granted, and one of them would be equality, that in one of the major landmarks of the city, this isn't happening. 55 years ago, a hillbilly from Minnesota stood up in New York and sang the following lines from the song, "The Times They Are Changing." He said, "Your old road is rapidly fading. Please get out of the new one if you can't lend a hand." And it seems bizarre to me, unbelievable, that 55 years later, we're still having to sing those sentences at men in a university in our city. And even though I've never been to university, even though in an ideal world I wouldn't fucking have them, even though in one way I think nerds need somewhere to live too. I believe that because the city is in our city, because the university is in our city, that it belongs to us. It's our university. The same way, whether we go to church or not, it's still our cathedral. So we're entitled to imagine what kind of a place do we want to live in. It's up to us to make up the rules. We inherit rules from a previous generation that they imagined, that they lived with. That's up to us to imagine shit. And would we imagine a university where women aren't promoted because they're fucking women? Not in my imagination. I was kind of thinking about this, like, where would such a mindset come from? You know, it's obviously based on fear of vaginas. It seems to me that men who think like that are men who probably went to an all-male primary school, probably went to an all-male boarding school. And in those environments, women are just figments of your imagination. You never meet a real one, but you think about them all day. But they don't really exist. So when it comes to something like being in charge of a university, how could you promote somebody who isn't fucking there in the first place? They're only in your mind. It's we live in a country where we forget that it's up to, that we're entitled to dream up the laws under which we live.
But what I really want to ask you to do is to go to the High Court in Dublin on May the 4th. Get yourselves on a bus leaving Cathedral at 9 in the morning so that we're up there at midday to register our protest against what the university's doing.
Do your bit for gender equality. Support the 5 women outside the High Court. May the 4th be with you.